Well, Nate, how are you doing today?
Not too bad.
Your sore throat getting better now, huh?
Oh yeah. That lasted 3 weeks.
Yeah. That was a tough one, though. That was really
I
hard.
thought I might actually have to go to the doctor. Get some antibiotics.
Right.
Well, honey and garlic did the trick, though.
Yeah, that's rough, though. Well, we had some winter weather, but we're getting along all right on that job. We're slowly getting it done.
Good.
So I reckon as long as the weather holds, we can get that concrete poured, and then the rest of the building should go up fairly fast.
You gotta work around the rain and snow this time of year.
It's tough when you're doing construction in the wintertime. It's okay. It's just the way life is. Yeah, the Bible in here in Matthew 6, it says, and King James says, which of you with taking thought can add 1 cubit, 1 inch to your step, can't make yourself grow 1 inch. So that's the way it is in life. We just gotta keep working at it and trusting the Lord, and maybe someday, everything will work out.
Can't force anything.
Right.
It all just works out in time.
Yeah, growing up Amish, you live off the land and you raise what you eat. You don't go to town. You don't spend no money, so you don't need to make as much money. But it's getting different nowadays. Them Amish, they like to spend money. They like to make money.
Oh yeah. I seen where was it the other day? I was in Raleigh in Harbor Freight, and I come out and there were 2 whole vans.
Oh yeah.
They were going into Hobby Lobby, Harbor Freight, and Save a Lot and all that.
Oh yeah.
There. Had a big old shopping spree going on. They had a trailer hooked behind the van.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they can. They got all these manufactured like roll mills, metal roll mills and stuff like that. They do a lot of that work now, making money. Yeah, we can't take thought, make our hair turn gray, and we can't add to our height. God. Then the next verse says, and why do you take thought for your clothing? Consider the flowers of the field, the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, do they? No, they don't work either, And yet I say to you that even Solomon, all his glory was not clothed like one of these. He wasn't arrayed like one of these. He didn't have beautiful clothing on, like a king's palace. And I realized that growing up in the plain way of life, we had blue and we had brown, and blue and brown was the 2 main colors you had to wear. Black, of course, somebody died, everybody wore black. I had to wear white shirts and black pants and white aprons, white caps, but blue and brown was the main colors that everybody wore every day. And the reason of that is, it goes back to they had, back in the day, the main color that they had to dye their clothing with was walnut holes. Mm-hmm. And that's why they had, but it became a tradition. It became a culture that's what all they had was brown and blue. And I'm not sure where they got the blue, if it was something to do with some kind of berries or something, but that's all they had.
No,
anyways,
that's an odd blue too, though.
Yeah, it's an odd blue.
Blue you see every day.
Anyways, that's when we left, and then my oldest daughter, she never was Amish. She was we weren't Amish anymore when she was born. But and I told her that, we did a lot of painting and stuff together, and because I seen that, that how culturally the Amish don't have a lot of color.
Right.
But she grew up using a lot of different colored paints and stuff, and that's kind of interesting to me how she says that she was grew up in that culture and she didn't,
Right.
It's kind of funny, but I guess it makes money for her, you got to give it to her.
Right. That's what most anybody, like, even most of our cousins and stuff, that's the way they make money,
Oh yeah.
None of them were Amish, or a lot of them were.
No.
They still say, well, I grew up Amish, and these are Amish, whatever they're making,
Oh yeah.
That ain't Amish shit.
Wherefore, if God so clothed the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast in the oven, shall he not clothe, take care of you? And then he scolds them for having little faith, the grass, you take the hay, you cut it, put it up. It just lasts a short time.
Right. It'll be rotten a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just amazes me how we grew up in a culture and we try to profit from that culture. Oh my goodness.
Everybody does it,
Oh yeah.
That's a huge thing. Like, everybody thinks, oh, it's Amish, it must be good.
Oh yeah.
But even I was watching a show, and they were going to shops up there in Pennsylvania and stuff. These Amish are selling like Amish goods or whatever.
Right.
And the guys turned a lot of them over and said, made in China.
Oh yeah.
Back of it, they were still like selling it in their Amish
Amish stores, yeah.
Amish made. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that kind of stuff, So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of
Just like those little electric roll-around heaters that you buy. Everybody's making a fuss about them things.
Right, little wood fireplace.
Little wood fireplace, little electric wood fireplaces. Well, they were up in Ohio. They were making the wood cabinets out of cherry and walnut and stuff like that, making nice cabinets, which that's good. But they were putting Chinese heaters in them,
And Amish made heaters.
Right, Amish made heaters. And
the only thing that was made Amish was the cabinet.
Right, just a cabinet and they put a few the casters. They probably bought them from China too,
Right.
So
I doubt they're manufacturing their own casters.
No. So yeah, everybody wants to profit from the word Amish,
Right. Well, it's almost become a brand,
Oh yeah.
You see Amish this or Amish cheese.
Amish. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Troyer is a big name in Amish, but
oh yeah, people like to. Well, there's a whole brand of you get it from the metal shop once in a while. They send us a basket of Troyer cheese and Troyer meat and Troyer this and Troyer that.
I was telling Mark the other night about. He was telling me about this Amish guy that had a roll mill, snap lot roll mill. He pulled it out. He paid $60,000 for it. Amish guy. Then he has an English guy driving for him. And when he uses the English guy's phone to get his orders and stuff, but he never touches the phone. He's not allowed to touch the phone. So the English guy takes a call and then he'll put it on speaker and hold it up to where the Amishman can talk to him.
Right.
So he doesn't want to hand the smartphone at all. He don't want to touch it.
It's kind of like they're allowed to use tractors or loaders and stuff.
Well, it depends.
Sticks, but
they can have. They can't. Yeah, that's right. Like I was telling him. Well, I came from that culture. I don't understand it. I said where I grew up, I said if I touched the steering wheel like I drove a tractor or something, I said I had to get down on my knees and confess my sins to the bishop. It was sinful for me to drive a tractor, touch a steering wheel. And I said that's the same. That's the culture you're in. You gotta honor that. And you gotta respect that culture. Otherwise the culture don't work. But yeah. That's the way it was. I mean, you just you have to be very careful not to break the rules of the church, And they'll even come out and they'll look at you like if you buy a set of glasses, or something. And
you gotta make sure that they're up to code.
Yeah, you can only get a certain style frame and something, And if you go to the wrong frame and get too big of glasses, you gotta get rid of them. You gotta buy smaller ones. They used to.
You see some of the Amish, they'll have real.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's horse and buggy mine, but they'll have real thin lens glasses, they're real square and small, and then the other ones they got these big,
That was the original tradition with them little old fashioned, them little round ones you see in movies, them little spectacles.
Little ones just about the side of your eyeball.
Yeah, I grew up with a pair like that. That's all I ever had until I got older, and then I got these other frames.
A little bit bigger ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there was there's eye places that carry those little things. Just if you got a big Amish settlement. They'll carry those just because of those Amish people, because they'll buy it. That's all they'll buy. And it's crazy. Yeah, I still remember them things. They had a little set of lenses like that, and then they came back and they had a loop that went clean around your ear, and they hung it. You couldn't hardly jerk them things off. I mean, they were on there. I could ride a horse bareback, or anything.
Right.
I'd ride bareback without a bridle or anything, and I was crazy. I was just like a little wild Indian, growing up.
Right. That's about what you need now, because you got a pair from Walmart and they keep falling off your head. Maybe you got to get a.
I know. I should get a pair.
Something wrapped around the back of your ear a little more.
It's crazy. Now we live in such a modern society and everything. Oh well.
That's all that happens. That's what happens to a lot of churches and stuff. Their rules slowly change because a new generation comes along. And they're like, well,
right,
that's not going to work for us,
and they slowly change out a little bit.
Right.
But just like there was an Amish driver, he's saying about he took a bunch of people out to a funeral out in Indiana, and when he come back, we asked him, well, how was the trip? And then of course I asked him, I said, how was the preaching? Because he said I sat in on the preaching. I said, well, did you get anything out of it? And he said, I don't know, but the one was a dang good auctioneer. He said, most of them, one guy wasn't much good, but he said the other one, man, he had a real song going. Right. I don't know what he was saying, but it was interesting.
Well, that's how when I went to my grandma's funeral or whatever, that one Amish preacher, he was real, like, almost like he was just like, he had it all memorized. He was just
Oh, yeah.
rolling through it. And the other guy, he had stopped, and he kept trying to put it into English for all the English people
Right.
that were there, you know, that couldn't speak German. And then he was a lot slower, and his message took a lot longer. I think it's because he was trying to put it in English as
Oh,
best
yeah.
he could.
No,
But the other guy, he was about yay tall, about this big and wide, and he got up there, and I mean, he just went off for like an hour and a half, just almost nonstop.
yeah, he's probably a Schwartz from Bern. That's about the size of him. Yeah, and he probably was heavy Swiss, too. Heavy Swiss accent.
You know,
He probably sings
I was
songs.
gonna say he almost sounded a little,
Oh, yeah.
his language sounded a little different because they had three preachers that all preached about an hour and a half.
Right.
My back hurt.
Oh, no.
I was like, come on, guys.
That's why a lot of them Amish, when they come out of the Amish, they make good auctioneers because they're used
to going for a while.
Oh, yeah, they're used to going for a long time. They can sing and swing it out there, you know, and make some excellent auctioneers.
Those ones at Ritchie Brothers, they don't last near as long as
No.
some of those guys, because you listen to those guys, and they'll go for about an hour or so, and
And they're
have
about
like
wore
a whole
out.
row of them, you know, come in.
Yeah, I thought about going to auctioneering school already because I kind of grew up with it. I know how to do it. But, oh, well, it is what it is. I reckon it'd be a good way to make. I mean, it's a way of life, you know.
Yeah, you make some money off of other people's junk you want to get rid of. That's about all auctioneering is at the end of the day. If you really stop and think about it.
Yeah, and Jesus says here, you know, God in the flesh, that was Jesus was. Take therefore no thought for the tomorrow, for the morrow should take thought of the things of itself. Sufficient to the day is the evil thereof, you know. So we just got to take a day at a time and know that God has good for us and not evil.
That's kind of interesting that talk about that a lot in the Bible. You're not supposed to look at your past and worry about that. You know, it's already happening, but you're also not supposed to just sit there worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow either.
You just take a day at a time.
You just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving.
Keep moving forward. Oh, I tell you what, that's just the way life is, you know.